maybe this works. Great. So welcome. I'm going to present the Emergent Orchestras. This is a new project that we started with our colleagues from Université de Namur in Belgium and from Constance, Andrea Giovanni Reina is somewhere there, and me, I'm Lluc from University of Brussels. So Emergent Orchestras, can music emerge from very, very simple robots? What is simple robots? Well, these robots, we assume that they can move, they can communicate, at least locally, and they can only play a single note. So you imagine that you are in front of a piano and you can just hit one of the notes. So each robot can only do that, hit one of the notes. And the idea is, can we have a ton of them and make music emerge from that? Well, let's see the initial status of our setting. Ooh, let me play this somehow. Not like this. Like well, that's not very nice, but you start from somewhere, right? So the idea is, oh, now we are not. How can we make now music emerge from this setting? Okay, what do we need to put in place in each of the robots to make music emerge from this? So we decided to come up with a framework, with a methodology, and we decided, okay, what are the goals for this to happen? First of all, we need synchronization. Okay, so each robot needs to have the same conception of time, because otherwise each one plays at their own time, and then that's not very nice. And then the second one is this harmonic consensus. Okay, so they had to play a shared set of pitches. You know, when you play music, you play one note and the other one plays another note, and normally they have to sound good together. Okay, if they don't sound good together, then normally people won't like it. What is the problem here? That we don't have a leader. We don't have this guy, the conductor with the stick, that is saying what to do and when to play. So we need to come up with this decentralized consensus. Good news is we have a ton of literature in swarm robotics that allow us to come up with synchronization methods and with consensus algorithms, so we can make use of all of that to now generate music. So for synchronization, we make use of the Kuramoto model that you might know, and this is based on oscillators. We can pair oscillators and they will influence each other, and at the end we will reach this synchronization in a decentralized manner. So basically each robot will start with a different timer, that is every 4 seconds, we'll count the bar, and basically when they reach other robots and they are in contact, they will share their phase and they will influence each other. If we do that with a lot of robots and they keep interacting, we will reach this synchrony. We did this for different swarm sizes of 5, 15, and 30 robots, and we ran this for 100 experiments, and we saw that we could reach this synchronization because, of course, this is something that was already done in the literature. So we have synchronization. Now we need them to play in notes that sound good together. If you ever play a piano, if you play one note, sounds good, you're a musician. So we have one robot, we play one note, it's good. The problem comes when you have another robot, initialized at random, you play 2 notes. 2 notes, normally they sound good together, okay? Because there's always a context where they sound good together. We're still good. But then you add a 3rd note, then it sounds maybe less good. And then you add 2 more notes, and then it's just noise, okay? The idea is that we need the robots to play notes that are good with each other. So we need them to play the right notes. But what are these right notes? We need this harmonic context to happen. So the harmonic context, you can think of it as a constraint that tells which notes sound good together. In music, we can have a lot of this harmonic context. In this work, we selected the major scale, just because it's something that people might know. And this is the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, or in other notation, it's just do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, okay? But this is just the C major scale. Actually, we have 12 of these. So if you start in C, you have the C major. But if you move this, you will have C sharp. But the idea is always the same. You have a set of intervals, so you can actually formalize this into different sets. So we have 12 major scales. Those are the sets. So what is the consensus? We need that, for instance, these 4 robots, they play in the same major scale. In this case, it already happened. They are all in C major and they are not in D major, but we have one it's okay, we have consensus. What happens when we don't have consensus? In this case, we have the gray robot that is playing C sharp. This is not in C major, this is not in D major. And since C sharp is in D major and not C, well, we don't have D major either. So one of the robots is out of tune, if you want to call it like that. So we take inspiration from the naming game, and basically each robot will locally memorize the last 4 notes that they heard. And they're like, okay, are we in a common scale? If yes, let's go. If not, I will switch my pitch with a certain probability to adapt to my local environment. Again, if we do this for each robot, the consensus will appear in the whole swarm. So we run the same experiments for this consensus, and we reach this harmonic consensus for different sets of robots. Great. We have synchronization, and now they can play also in a common scale. So that's almost music. And the good thing is that this is designed at individual level, so we have something that is robust, decentralized, and scalable. We can try it for different number of robots. And in fact, we can just remove them or add them during the simulation, and things will still work, right? But the thing is now we just have a set of robots playing notes that sound good together at the same time. But if you have 30 notes playing at the same time, that is also not nice, okay? So we need to come up with some other modules to build on top of this. By doing this, we can increase somehow the complexity of this emergent music. What we decided to add was this distribution of bits. So each robot counts the bar every 4 seconds. So what if instead of playing on the first beat of the bar, we decide to play it in a different beat? So if we have 4, we can decide to play 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we implemented a similar mechanism where each robot will look at their neighbors and it's like, oh, you're playing 1, 2, and 3, I will play 4. Okay? Like this, we can distribute and have a more even distribution of the notes over the structure of the music, right? We implemented this, and then we measured the evenness of this distribution, so the proportion of robots that play at each beat, and we can see that we can also reach this even distribution. So in figure A on the top, you can have like the initial situation where it's a bit messy, and then you have this base distribution of the notes that is some more structured music, right? Good thing, all of this happens at the same time. So we are not doing one thing, then the other, then the other. At the same time that we are reaching this consensus, we are synchronizing and we are distributing the bits. So everything is built simultaneously. So maybe we can hear what it happens. As you can see here, we have different colors. This means that they are not in consensus yet. I will accelerate the video and then you will hear what comes after. Okay, still not great. Oh. So here we have the consensus that is represented by the red, and then each beat changes with one color. And you will see that just some of the robots play in that beat. I think there's a beat. Yeah, we can have it for 5 robots too. And I will just go a bit fast. And for 30 robots. Of course, this doesn't sound that good because at the end you have a lot of robots playing at the same time, but you can just divide the windows in more sub-windows and get more complex music. So this is for the simulation, but we also wanted to transfer this to real robots. So basically, we made use of these 12 robots that were developed for an art science exhibition in Namur. And if you want to look at them, they look more or less like a vacuum cleaner with a human head on top of it. They were like that, so I asked the guys the 3 assumptions. Can they move? Yes. Can they communicate? Yes. Do they have a speaker? Yes. And then I asked, why do they have a human head on top of a vacuum cleaner? They said yes. So I guess it's good enough. So we just implemented this same logic in the real robots. And this is my colleague, Muhammad, who will turn on each robot independently. So you see that it's not centralized. It's quite creepy. still creepy, okay? Doesn't get any better. Okay, but since I don't want you to have nightmares tonight, I would maybe leave with a bonus track that is, I took the same experiment that we did before and I added something more like electronic maybe. So it's not just a piano. Let me try to hit the play. Yeah. So this is the same idea, but with another instrument, let's say. Okay, I think I'm out of time. So, hello. Yes. So conclusions. We introduced this framework. This is still like the very basic and foundational modules. So we can achieve this consensus. But now the idea is to expand this by extending the framework with more modules that will add to increase more complexity. And also we will play with different interactions and swarm behaviors to also influence the musical output. That's more or less the idea. And thank you. I will be happy to, well, maybe not happy, but I will take questions.